What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the lab. For today's video, we are going to be talking about my personal 5 tips for smartphone helicopter videography. I love getting into the skies and filming from above. Back at home, we call it Dirty Bird. Out here, we just call it regular helicopter. I don't know what took me so long, but I figured I'd create this video to give you guys some tips for your first helicopter flight, or to pass this over to a friend or family member who's going to fly in a heli and want to capture some cool video. The first thing I want to talk about is having storage available and having your batteries charged. One of the worst things that could possibly happen when you're in the sky, especially if you're on like a 30-minute, 45-minute, or even like a 15-minute flight, is not having storage to film your videos. You want to make sure that you go into your settings and you just check your storage capacity, and you just want to make sure you have some space or available space so that you're able to capture some videos. Having your battery charged as well. I mean, you're probably hopping on this helicopter flight somewhere in a different city or even in your own hometown, and it's quite easy for us to forget these main things, but hopefully by watching this video you remember to charge your phone. Second tip is shooting on high frame rates. For me personally, I like shooting at 4K at 60 frames. This way I'm able to slow it down on a 24 frame timeline. And I don't want you to hop on this incredible helicopter flight, shoot on a low frame rate, and bring your footage back and just be bummed out that like everything is shaky as hell. We don't want that. The alternative is that you shoot on a higher frame rate. Shooting at 4K at 60 frames, bring down the resolution, shoot 1080 at 120 frames. I know some phones can even shoot at 240 frames. That's essential, especially when shooting on a helicopter flight, because there's so much turbulence, there's a lot of shakiness, and if you're shooting handheld, more than likely it's going to be super hard to capture that footage. You give yourself a better chance at having usable footage by shooting at a higher frame rate and slowing it down in post. My third tip is shooting on a gimbal. I'm not talking about a big ass gimbal like the RS2 or the Ronin. You could do that by all means, but I'm more so aiming towards like lower budget smartphone gimbals. You might have one, a friend might have one, go ahead and borrow one. They're really easy to use, and if you're shooting on these higher frame rates with the gimbal, they give you a better chance at actually having usable footage. And when you're shooting on a smartphone gimbal, I would highly suggest that you shoot on either POV mode or FPV mode. I made a whole video talking about these two modes. I'll link it down below. Pretty much POV mode allows you to have full access to your x-axis and your y-axis. When the helicopter is turning, you don't have to worry about your gimbal's horizon line pretty much like trying to stay straight because the helicopter's moving. I know that sounds kind of complicated, but trust me on this, it'll save you when you're in the sky. And also you want to make sure your gimbal is charged as well. You want it fully charged. Also on your gimbal, you want to make sure you understand how to put it in sleep mode. It allows you to shoot some other creative shots like shooting vertical. And then when you want to turn the gimbal back on, you just hold sleep mode and then you turn it back on, then you're back in action. Mobile gimbals most of the time shouldn't be a problem for helicopter flights, because on most of the flights they'll give you a harness with a 1/4-inch screw. Just screw that into the bottom, then it'll be fully secured. If they say something, show them this video. No, it actually should be good. You should be okay because they don't weigh that much anyway, so you should be alright. All right, tip number 4 is shooting on different focal lengths. So luckily for us in the new digital age, most of these phones come with multiple lenses, and most phones come with an ultra wide, a wide, and a tele lens. I would highly suggest that you shoot with all 3. I'll show you guys examples of all 3. If you're a subscriber of this channel and you've seen my previous videos, then you already know that this technique that I call personally the 3-piece special. It just gives you 3 different variations of shots and it allows you to mix it up. So when you're on the helicopter flight, most of the time you're going to be moving. That means there's going to be a lot of turbulence, there's going to be a lot of wind. Depending on the day, I got an extra windy day just for you guys. And there's a technique you could use if you're shooting on a higher frame rate, if you're shooting with a gimbal, to shoot on the opposite side that you're sitting on, because there's less turbulence when you're actually inside of the helicopter versus trying to stick the gimbal out on the left side, where I was. If you do that, you just experience a lot of wind, super shaky footage. But when you shoot on the inside and you put it on the telephoto setting, then it'll look a little something like this, which is usable, and we like it, and we're happy. If you go through these first 4 steps and you do these first 4 steps, I almost guarantee you're gonna have some usable footage. It's a good recipe. I'm not gonna hold you. It's a good recipe. I've been using this recipe for a while now, and you can apply this to other cameras. It's not just smartphone videography. I was just referring to smartphone videography because that's what I was using. But my 5th and final tip for this video is to bring an extra phone. Hopefully, if you're doing this helicopter flight, you have a homie or a family member who doesn't want to go. Ask if you can use their phone. If the phone that you're primarily using is on the gimbal and you want to prioritize that phone for capturing 4K video or high frame rate video, then the other phone allows you to do some of the more fun stuff like grabbing selfies, doing the foot shot, taking photos, and more than likely this extra phone is going to get harnessed to you so that you can be hands-free. And with flynyon, they have these harnesses that they give you, put the phone in and then they lock it in so it's secure. So having that extra phone just gives you an opportunity to do those handheld shots, because they do work. Handheld shots do work. When you do it right, when the helicopter's not moving, they work. All right, that pretty much wraps up this video. I know that was a quickie, but hey, I wanted to get this off my chest because I felt like this information could really help someone that is going to hop on a helicopter for the first time and don't really know what to expect. Just expect the time of your life. Like, congratulations, you chose to do something really wild, and if you're doing it with the doors off, that's even more kudos to you, because you're a little crazy, but that's okay too. And I'm happy for you, because we can relate in a way in the craziness, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. If you have any additional tips that would benefit the people who are watching, please leave them down below. Huge shout out to Jenna from flynyon for hooking it up. Really appreciate you always. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I gotta get ready and pack. I gotta hop on a flight. I gotta shoot a campaign, and I'm not gonna be back in the lab for a week. Yeah, I'll holla at y'all on my next video.